Yo, what's going on? This is the Rising Sun Quest MC out of Waterbury, Connecticut. Representing the Ant Farm affiliates. You can check me out www.myspace.com/risingsunquest or antfarmaffiliates.com. Check out the whole crew. It's just a bunch of good hip hop for the mind, you know, food for thought. And we're about to do just an interview and let you know what the current state of hip hop is, in my opinion. Well, my name is the Rising Sun Quest, as you know, and who I am basically is an MC that's been in the game for a minute now, trying to push this music. And what I'm about is really connecting with people, trying to, you know, relate to people. And whenever I write my music, I always keep the trials and tribulations, the life experiences of others and myself in mind. So who I am is, I guess, a representative for the everyday person. One of my boys, I guess he wanted to be part of the ciphers that would take place in the school, because we always used to have like a bunch of cats by the soda machines, you know, making beats. And as freshmen coming in, seeing this, it was like real dope, because you'd have all these ciphers, and like certain MCs in these ciphers would be well known for, you know, catching wreck or the most popularity or whatever you want to call it. So my boy was just like, yo, we got to get in those ciphers. And I tried to tell him, you know, we don't rap. He's like, nah, I've been writing some stuff, you know. So really it was my boy kind of saying, you know, Quest. At the time I was in Quest, but, you know, he would just call me by my name and say, yo, we need to write something and try to get in these ciphers. So he encouraged me to write a little something, and I just gave it a shot. And after writing the first verse and kicking it to him, he was really impressed by what I wrote. So he's like, wow, you know, that was really tight for your first verse. So I'd practice it. This one verse I'd practice and practice, and then there was one time I went into the cipher, and I had my shot. You know, this young freshman kid just going in and trying to go, you know, like present to these, I guess, you know, the top best of the best in the school or whatever. And I remember kicking that first verse and getting a lot of props for it, and I kind of fell in love with the idea of my ideas and my thoughts that I penned, you know, being able to take it somewhere and people really bugging out and enjoying what I was thinking. You know, like some MCs, their strength is in the booth, and some MCs, their strength is on stage, and others are just, you know, I don't know, on tracks they sound real good. So I guess the essence is being able to capture all the different pieces that an MC needs, you know, being able to carry the same energy in the booth that you have, take it to the stage. And so when somebody hears you on, you know, your CD or whatever, they could come to your show and experience the same thing. Also, part of MCing is freestyling too. Like a lot of MCs just focus on writing dope rhymes and making good songs, and that's cool. But I think that you have to be able to have a little bit of each of those characteristics. You gotta be able to freestyle and be good in the booth, be good on your songs, and give a good stage show. There's so much good music that isn't getting played on the radio that you know, there's a certain persona that you have to have in order to be, I guess, a top-selling artist right now. You listen to the radio, pretty much all those artists sound the same, and because of that, someone who doesn't know anything about hip-hop, if they were to listen to the, you know, if they were to say to themselves, all right, let's see what this hip-hop is all about, and they turn on the radio, because really that's their only source of hip-hop, you know what I mean, rap music, whatever. They'll turn on the radio, the TV, and then they'll see this and they'll say, well, that's no good for the kids. Look at that. Look at the way they degrade the women. Look at the way they're all talking about money. Look at the way they're dressed, you know. It's not, I mean, the biggest misconception is that we all fit that mold, I guess. You know, the truth is, if you dig deep, you'll find, you know, 90% of artists are not like that. You know what I'm saying? If you actually took the time to dig further than, you know, your first source, and really try to dig into the world of hip hop, you'll see that there's a lot of positivity. You'll see that there's intelligence. You know, you break down some of the lyrics that these MCs are spitting, and you're gonna see bits and pieces of education. You know what I mean? You'll see that these are not ignorant, foolish, you know, people. These are intelligent people who are you know, in turn kind of educating with the music, because, you know, you like for myself, I research a lot of the things that goes into my music. So when you listen to it, you know, when you recite my lines, you'll know a little piece of information that you may not have known. You know what I'm saying? So the biggest misconception is that it's just a bunch of thugs rhyming. You know, a bunch of thugs making money. That's not what hip hop is whatsoever. Me personally, I'm not really feeling where hip hop is right now, but at the same time, hip hop is a force. You know what I'm saying? Like it is a powerhouse in terms of marketing. It's a powerhouse in terms of promotion, and I mean it's just a huge business right now. So some like fans of the music see it as a negative, but really, I mean, hip hop right now is really a business that provides a big opportunity for a lot of people to get in, because it's not just the MCs right now or the rappers that get the fame who are employed by hip hop. I guess, you know, there's a lot of people that hip hop is helping out, all the people, you know, behind the scenes. So when you look at it from that regard, you know, hip hop is strong right now because when you see commercials on TV, somebody's doing hip hop, you know, and when you see you know, advertisements for shows, they're doing hip hop. You know what I'm saying? As an art form, though, I think that because of that business, that certain, you have to maintain that certain level of commercialism. You know, the art form has suffered a little bit, but that's why we have, you know, what they call the underground of people who still provide that essence. You know what I mean? That non-tapped, that raw form of music. You know, because hip hop is a form of music. You know what I'm saying? So I think the current state of hip hop it's unbalanced right now because those people who are providing that good music, they don't really get the shine that they deserve. You know what I'm saying? And like you know, the mainstream doesn't really focus on talent, it's more on popularity. So unfortunately, this hip hop getting stronger and stronger, it kind of pushes people who work at making the music and keeping the integrity of the music, kind of pushes them to the side. But you know, what can be done to remedy it is just, you know, I think that if right now, if you can convince these major labels that you don't have to push garbage, people, you know, people seem to buy into whatever you give them, you know, and that's kind of sounds harsh, but really and truly, the radio, whatever they play, people will listen to. You know what I'm saying? So if they just recognize that you don't have to play what you call catchy music or music that's gonna sell, you can actually play good music and feed that to the people, and then they'll buy into it, and then, you know, they'll be actually appreciating good music. It would take a large step from the industry to turn things around, which I don't know if that'll happen, because all they see is dollar signs. You know what I'm saying? To find a good MC like myself, I think I'm a dope MC, but it's like finding a needle in a haystack. There's so many rappers right now that it's not even, nobody's gonna believe me when I tell them, hey, listen, I make some good music. Nobody's gonna listen to that because they have everybody else telling them, hey, listen, I make good music. So I don't know if that's the reason why I'm not signed. In order to get signed, I think you need to have a team of people that help push your stuff, and you have to be persistent and really just go at it 100%. I mean, if you're just gonna, you know, lightly promote yourself or just make music and think that your music is good enough to carry you, then that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? To get why I haven't been signed, I don't know, maybe I haven't been trying hard enough. I didn't get that break. The music industry really is about who you know. So I guess I haven't met the right people yet. You know, I've been making the right music, I think. I just, you know, hasn't fallen into the right hands, and that's really nobody's fault. It's just the way it is. There's so many good artists out there that haven't made it in every single genre, and it's not even just music, but sports. There's so many good basketball players. There's so many good football players. They haven't had the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? It's just you haven't caught that break. So there's really no concrete answer to that. I've been thinking about that myself. Like, what is it that my ultimate goal would be? And I think that, you know, maybe look when in 10 years from now, when you look back, and when a lot of people look back at their favorite MCs, I hope to be like in that category. Like, I hope to have made enough of an impression on enough people that the music will be looked at, you know, 10, 20 years from now, kind of the way, you know, we look at like an Illmatic, you know, from Nas. You know, I still listen to that album, you know, and I hope that in 20 years from now they'll be bumping Journey Towards the Sun. So really, I guess a lasting impression is what I look for ultimately.